that clear? So, domain names? Find domain names. Big button. Again, this is all really simple stuff. This is about how you want to communicate your brand, your messages to your public. The first way you do it is through a website. What do you want them to do? Live chat. Follow us, Twitter. Little icons, things like that make a big, big difference. They open up a portal. Social media. We've already talked about social media, so I'll just put them up again. But just to say, social media is now a massively important part of what a company needs to have in their strategy. Mobility. I get a train every morning from Kent. 60% of people use their phone on the train. I use my phone on the train. I sit there and I read bbc.co.uk, see what's going on. I chat to my friends in various parts of the world. That's how I use it now. I want my content to be mobile. My strategy is mobile. Now, Blackberries are old now. People are starting carrying around these. They're starting to carry around their iPads. And within 15 years' time, an iPad is just going to be seen as the same style. But everyone's strategy has to be around, okay, how are we going to address the iPhone and the iPad users? What is our strategy in terms of an app? Do we want to develop an app? If we do want to develop an app, what is it going to say? What's it going to tell us about? Now, as well as my BlackBerry, I actually have an iPhone that I use when I'm abroad. One of the best apps I have is from British Airways. British Airways allow me to check into my flights by my app and get my boarding card on the screen of my iPhone. So when I turn up to the airport, just show them my iPhone, and they scan it, and it's perfect. You think, oh, great, terrific. But I take the same flight every single week to the same destination. Every single week. BA aren't the cheapest. But I changed the habit of who I flew with because BA had that one app. Simple as that. That is the power of having a strategy as to how you're going to communicate and how you're going to put information out to your customers. As a consumer, I changed my strategy. Mobile barcodes. Again, really, really important. Certainly in the retail space, for companies to use this as part of their strategy. What do you want people to find out about your company by putting a barcode on a product or on a shelf? Very, very important going forward, that. And finally, it's about how companies use domain names. .mobi. If you see a company that is using a .mobi domain name, their website is mobile compliant. It has to be mobile compliant, otherwise you can't use .mobi. And the same with .tel. .tel is used by companies to explain how people can contact them. It is a single website contact page that can be integrated into other things. But again, it's a very important communication tool. Because if you get that right, you're opening up a number of different avenues and channels in which companies can contact you. Offline advertising. So you need to integrate your online presence into your offline advertising. 3 really good examples. I have to say I'm a little bit embarrassed by this as a West Ham fan to stand up here and say this is a great example, because they're not a great example of anything at the moment. But Spobet, nobody had heard of SBO or Spobet before they actually started into this agreement nearly 2 years ago. The traffic to their website went through the roof within 2 weeks. Because all of a sudden, this was their offline way of saying, hey, we're here, we're an online betting company, and we're in front of millions of people every day, every week, every month, on television. So with this, Blackpool, Wonga.com, payday loans, 3,700% API. But they do a job. That is their offline strategy. Their offline strategy is promoting and communicating their online brand. Quite clever. And this is the third one. SW Comms, sponsor of the Exeter Chiefs Rugby Union team. Never heard of them personally, but actually when I saw that, I did actually put that into the internet and see what came up. Although, they should have moved their spaces, because someone came along and put underscores over there. Go to a different website. Google, this is an example of what Google are doing in Moscow. they're trying to promote how to use Google, so they put adverts on park benches. People come along, they sit there with their iPhone. Oh, look at that. Another example, Google Maps. You make a little sign, you can download that from Google and you can put that in your window. And all of a sudden, you're offline, but you're online. Next one is a very clever one. This is an airline sick bag. HLX.com, Hapag Lloyd Express, fly, it's almost all from Cologne Airport. But that's how they're using their offline strategy. Actually, feedback. Give us some feedback. Actually, on the other side of this is a feedback form. I wouldn't suggest that people post content to that. But so, collaboration. What's collaboration?